spent several years as a teacher and then as a trainer of teachers, working with children from 2 through, let's say, 7 or so. And during the preparation for that work, I had among my references the book, The Nursery School, The Human Relationships Laboratory by Catherine Reed Baker, which introduced me to the idea that young children are engaged in some really serious work in the relationships they have on the playground. And that has led me to view Second Life as essentially equivalent, a place where people can do really serious work using the play medium, which they may not be inclined to take that seriously otherwise. And actually, I have to say that this performance today as a presenter in Second Life, to me, essentially exemplifies this attitude of play. When I talk to a lot of my colleagues about what I'm doing with online teaching and especially this kind of thing, there are many of my colleagues who look at it as something that they would not be able to handle. The embarrassment of doing it wrong would be more than they could handle. And for me, I think the play attitude helps a lot. So what Second Life does is to extend that and give people more of an opportunity to go into a place where they know they may fail, but they know that it's okay because this is a playful place. Furthermore, I think play offers a place to, and this is one of the common uses of the word. Is that any better? I just moved my mic. Are we getting any more improvement? Okay, it's not me. So the second and more common use of the word play has to do with essentially rehearsing what you do until you get really good at it. Playing, as in games, being an activity where people do the same thing over and over, and with little risk of really failing. That is, if I play a game, let's say Monopoly, from my childhood, and I do it badly, then it doesn't really affect my life that much. I can keep practicing until I get good at it. Did I just lose that slide? Okay, I got another slide. So let's see if I think I must have clicked on my keyboard here. Let's go back. There we go. And then finally, my last point on the play slide has to do with the idea that the play environment, the play attitude, is one in which people can share the play experience with others. If we engage in play together, then all of us are mutually playful, all of us mutually let our guards down, and in that way we can get closer to each other than we could in a more competitive, less playful environment. So how does this relate to my life? I've been playing around for playing, I would say, for 20-some years now with an idea that I now call identity renegotiation. And in that theoretical framework, I see people as not having identity as a single thing, but instead as being people who are multiply having several identities. And those identities are specific to the relationships they're in at the moment, which can be located in a lot of ways, located physically, located temporally, but especially located relationally. That is, I am in a relationship with each of you in this room, and we have essentially a contract in which I am going to be treated with a certain amount of respect as the presenter up here, but at the same time, because this is play, you're going to recognize that I'm not launching, I lost my sound. Other people lacking sound. Okay, we have one person with sound problems. Second life glitchers. That's why this is play. So anyway, we're engaged in a playful interaction, but it also has serious implications. And that's the relationship we're in at the moment. If our relationship were instead that I had contracted to be your heart surgeon, you probably would not have the same attitude toward my performance, and I probably wouldn't be able to get away with the same kind of clumsiness that I sometimes find I have in this environment. But again, this is not the same set of expectations I would have in other relationships. If, as I'm remembering a client story, in my relationship with my wife, I had decided to be playful with her life savings, and it suddenly was lost. That probably would not be considered to be an appropriate way of handling that kind of, yes, it was terrible. And of course, by the time they arrived in my office, it had been quite some time, and he thought by then he should be forgiven, and it was not going to happen. So anyway, relationships have their own specific expectations for our identities, and we can be multiple. We can be very serious some places, playful other places, passionate in some places, very sober and non-emotional in others. There doesn't have to be a single person. Shanti, I'm sorry. If you call up your menu for sounds, you will find that there are a number of different sound tracks that you can be controlling. There is a voice sound track, and that should be the one I'm on. If you can find that, I think you'll find that you have a slider. Yes, down right above the mini-map. Okay. Try to find your voice slider and increase that. But I guess I'm talking to you and you can't hear me. Final Sands, you're taking care of it. Thank you. Appreciate the help from the audience. I'm going to go back to my slides then. So here's where I'm going to start inviting audience participation, and I know that this kind of format gets awfully dry, but I just want to do a little prep first. So from that identity perspective, your identities really reside in the stories that you tell about yourself and the stories that other people tell about you. If you want to be seen a particular way, then you either will be seen that way, and that's the way the stories come out, or you're being seen differently, and there's something that's not quite what you'd like. Quite often, what's in these stories is a value system from dominant discourses. I was interested in an earlier identity presentation today, which was very value-focused. Mine is much more story-focused. Mine is based on the idea that you can change the stories and you can become the person that you want to become. But also, you can only make the changes that the current audience will let you make. So here's where I want to open it up to you. Please jump into chat. Can you recall times when the story you've told about yourself or the stories that somebody else told about you didn't quite match what you hoped?